Today we're taking a deep look at the GEEKOM A7 Max mini PC. This thing is built around AMD's Ryzen 9 7940HS, and on paper it sounds like the perfect little 4x4-inch machine for productivity, content creation, and even some light gaming. But after spending time with it, there's a real story here about what this tiny box can actually do, and where it falls short in ways it really shouldn't. So right out of the box, it's got that classic mini PC look. Sturdy aluminum build, super compact at 135 by 132 by 46.9 mm, and a clean, understated design that just disappears into any desk setup. It comes with all the cables you need, even a VESA mount, so you can tuck it behind your monitor, wall mount it, stick it under the desk, whatever works for you. Port selection on this thing is actually pretty solid for how small it is. Up front you got 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports running at 10 gigs, plus the power button. Now, no USB-C on the front? That one bugs me. 2 Type-A ports and 1 USB-C up front would have been way more practical. Over on the left side, there's an SD card slot that handles UHS 2 cards as well. Speeds are legit. On the right, you got a Kensington lock, and on the rear side, there are plenty of ports. Power input, 2 USB 4 Type-C ports that do both display and power delivery, 2 HDMI ports, dual 2.5 gig LAN ports, 1 USB 2.0, and 1 USB 3.0 Type-A. Now here's where things get a little annoying. Getting inside this thing is not fun. The screws are hidden under the rubber feet, and then there's a secondary shield you have to remove before you can even touch the RAM or storage. That alone makes upgrading more of a hassle than it should be. And what's even more frustrating is that despite the Ryzen 9 platform having extra PCIe lanes to spare, GEEKOM only gave us one M.2 2280 slot and shipped it with a single 16 gig DDR5 stick. In 2026, that's not just a questionable choice. It actively hurts performance, especially with the integrated graphics on this chip. So I went ahead and threw in a second stick of matching RAM, and yeah, the difference is night and day. Under the hood, you get the AMD Ryzen 9 7940HS, 8 cores, 16 threads, Zen 4 architecture. This thing pushes serious CPU numbers for productivity, coding, video editing, multitasking, all of it, and it does it in this tiny little box. Benchmarks line up really well against laptops and even some small desktops. For graphics, you are looking at the Radeon 7 80MI GPU. It can handle smooth 1080p gaming in a lot of AAA titles, and it's more than fine for multimedia and everyday 3D stuff. But here's the catch. That single stick of RAM cuts the GPU bandwidth roughly in half. Some tests show up to 70% reduction. So adding a second RAM stick to enable dual channel mode delivers a major performance boost here. And I'm not exaggerating. Independent testing shows dual channel nearly doubles GPU benchmark scores in some cases. We're talking up to 86% gains in certain graphics tests just by going from single to dual channel DDR5. That's insane. And just so you know, all my testing was done with dual channel already installed, so keep that in mind when you see my numbers. The included 1TB PCIe Gen 4 SSD is fast. App loading, file transfer is all snappy, but with only one internal slot, if you need more local storage, you're either cloning the drive or going external. Not great if you want extra capacity inside, but you can always swap in a bigger drive. The USB 4 ports help a lot here for high-speed external drives and docks, but still only one internal slot in this class is a bit of a bummer. Cooling-wise, GEEKOM's Ice Blast 2.0 system with dual copper heat pipes does a solid job. Thermals stay in check under sustained loads, and during normal use, it's honestly pretty quiet. Even when you push it, the fan noise stays within totally reasonable levels for a desk setup. That said, all the cooling in the world doesn't fix the single stick memory problem. The iGPU lives and dies by memory bandwidth, so the bottleneck here is configuration, not heat. But putting all that aside, in day-to-day use, this thing is snappy. Video editing is smooth, office stuff flies, web browsing feels great, it handles 8K playback without a hitch, and streaming or video calls running without a hiccup. Light gaming at 1080p works, but like I keep saying, and I know I keep saying it, you can really feel the wasted potential with just one RAM stick. Drop in a second one, and it's a completely different machine. That's where this platform actually shows what it's capable of. And speaking of, here are some benchmarks I ran in both gaming and productivity. Alright, let's break down the pros and cons, starting with the pros. It's compact, it's got a premium metal build, and the port selection for something this small is honestly impressive. The Ryzen 9 delivers strong CPU performance across productivity and multitasking workloads. USB 4 dual 2.5 gig LAN and support for up to 4 displays make it a legit small desktop replacement, and it runs quietly with a thermally efficient chassis. On the con side, the biggest one by far is shipping with a single RAM stick. It seriously holds back graphics performance and even overall system responsiveness. Adding a second stick fixes it without any thermal penalty, but you shouldn't have to. Getting inside is a bit awkward since you have to peel off the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas first, so be careful there. There's only one storage slot, which limits internal expansion, and there's no OQ-Link port if you were hoping to hook up an external GPU. So here's the bottom line. The GEEKOM A7 Max is a really well-built mini PC that almost nails the promise of Ryzen 9 power in a tiny package. The problem isn't raw performance. It's how that performance gets choked by a single RAM stick and limited expandability. If you're willing to add a second stick yourself, this becomes a seriously capable little machine for productivity, media work, and light gaming. Without that upgrade, you're looking at a system that looks powerful on the spec sheet but doesn't deliver where it should. That's why you see mixed impressions from pretty much every reviewer, myself included. Yeah, adding more RAM bumps up the total cost, but when it unlocks more than a 50% performance boost, it's absolutely worth it. All in all, it's a really nice little machine. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub to the channel. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down, but make sure to press it twice. I'll catch you in the next one.